Good evening, everybody. This is Halloween 2025, and it's a crazy day. I am Lucky One, and you're listening to Quantum Connections here on Rumble, X, and YouTube, and at truthrefugee.com, where we connect, unite, and thrive. We are we have no parasites, no more parasites, and that means no viruses, no ugly things and worms and whatnot. So anyway, we're going to be getting into some things here. We're going to talk about the Charlie Kirk widow nonsense that's going on. It's pretty yucky. About Zionists and Massey. We're going to talk about Secretary Duffy and what he's doing in regards to the truck drivers. Let's see what else. Walmart, what's going on there? EBT outage, drive danger and outrage and all that stuff. And we're also going to talk about Halloween and honoring the ancestors today. So with that, we'll get started here and get going. So here we go.
You are listening to Quantum Connections with Lucky One.
Women of this country learned long ago. Those without swords can still die upon them. I fear neither death nor pain.
What do you fear, my lady?
A cage. To stay behind bars until use and old age accept them. And all chance of valor has gone beyond recall or desire.
I decided that every day when I rise from my bed, I will ask myself, what can I do to resist? And so I've chosen to resist government lies and propaganda. Every day I resist war. I resist the daily insults to human and earth dignity. I'm proud to proclaim that I've chosen whose side I'm on. I'm on the side of truth. I'm on the side of justice. And I'm on the side of peace.
Alrighty then, and we're going to get started here. I want to say hello to everybody who's watching, and I do see that we've got people watching live right now, and let's get into it. So right off the bat, we're going to go ahead and talk about Bitcoin. First off, the prices of Bitcoin, what's going on there. Bitcoin is at $109,675, and yes, it's been going up and down and up and down. But the thing, hey, I celebrate when it goes down because we can buy more. That's what I'm about. And if it goes up, yay, that's awesome. So either way, but if you're starving and you have children and you need diapers, get the diapers. You know, it's like you can't eat Bitcoin, but its usage is getting better and better as we go along. I'm happy about that because it's becoming more popular, and there's countries that's going on out there, and they're putting it in their reserves. So that's a good thing. Now, the most remarkable thing since we've last talked, in a regular show format like I'm doing now, is gold. Holy, what was it? 2 years ago, it was like down at $2,000. Or no, it's like 4 years ago, it was like 2,000 something, and now it's at $4,017.50 today. Silver's at $48.92. Now, who saw that coming? There's a lot of people who's seeing that it's going to go way higher. There's countries and organizations taking delivery on their silver. What we saw, and it was like back in 2017, I think we were talking about that. Brooks Agnew and I were talking about that on the old show that we had going. And we were talking about how silver seems to be suppressed. Well, yes, it was back when it was like 20 something dollars an ounce. And what had happened was these people were issuing, or these exchanges, if you will, they were issuing silver certificates. Okay. And basically what it was is like, that certificate with the serial number on it was supposed to represent how much silver you own. It wasn't quite true. There was a lot of paper certificates that did not have gold or silver backing. There were still gold certificates also, the same thing. And so what's happened is that has been it kind of got washed out and everything. So now the prices are showing what's really going on. In addition, the printing machines and the Fed goes brrr, and so tons of fiat dollars out there, and what that makes happen is the value of the dollar goes down and the prices of other things go up. But actually, I think still it is really suppressed. I do think that gold is really suppressed still, and silver is definitely suppressed. But I was talking to a friend who has been collecting gold and silver, and he was explaining. He said, "Yeah, it should be representing 1 to 17. Okay, so 17 pieces of silver should equal one piece of gold." And I thought that was so funny because I don't know very many people in real life, and family, relatives, neighbors, whatnot, that knows that. And I learned it one time because I just had a thought. I was like, didn't Harry Potter? Yeah, I know Harry Potter. Didn't Harry Potter in that stories it was the equivalent of the galleon was worth 17 newts or something like that, and I was like, that just tickled in my brain. And so I did some research and I found out throughout history 17 pieces of silver usually equaled a piece of gold, the same weight in gold. Go figure. And then come to find out I was right, and somebody who's way older than me said the same thing. And so yeah, hey, okay, so let's get to it. We're going to get on to the first stuff, and yeah, you guys, you're not going to believe. Okay, this is just confounding. I was not one for gossip and everything, but at the same time, when somebody takes something so blatantly out loud and in front of the whole world, in front of the cameras and everything, you just got to say something. Charlie Kirk's widow, okay, Erica Kirk, was at a TP USA, whatever the place is called, and they were doing a presentation, and she was introducing J.D. Vance, the Vice President of the United States. And this lady already had a lot of red flags showing, according to a lot of women, the way she was behaving. Yeah, it's just something not right with her, and that's my feeling too. Yeah, no. Anyway, just yeah, we see you. Anyway, but when she did this introduction and she hugged him, right, and he's got his hands on her hips, and she's got her hands around and up his neck and in through his hair. She's got and her wedding band wasn't on. Now it's like, she just lost her husband last month. But this is also after she said something to the effect that nobody can replace Charlie in my life, but J.D. Vance has a lot of similar attributes or something like that. I'm like, ooh, what's going on there? And then that hug. I'll tell you what, if I was Usha, I don't care if I was second lady or not, I would have gone up there and snatched that bitch bald headed. You don't touch my husband like that. Nope. I would. Okay. And I don't care if it offends anybody. I'm real, There's a lot of real women out there who are looking at this like, but then there's a lot of Christian women that's supposed to be in this TP USA, Christian Zionist, whatever have you, watching this. And even they're saying that's wholly inappropriate. And Usha, she does not deserve this kind of stuff. I mean, she needs to watch out, yeah. Anyway, moving on. So the reason why we get to criticize is because we're American. We have the First Amendment right to do so. But the other thing is like, this is supposed to be the Vice President of the United States. Now, I was all about J.D. Vance. Yeah, hoorah, Marine Corps Corporal, the E4 Mafia, whatever have you. It's a Marine thing. Sorry. I was all for it, but I'm like, yo, bro, this is not right. And especially with what he had to say about Thomas Massey, who is arguably the most constitutional congressperson we've got out there. Okay. So J.D. Vance said something about him saying, having your own opinions is one thing, voting against the party on every single issue, you're going to make enemies. Every time we've needed Thomas for a vote, he's been completely unwilling to provide it, end quote. To which I say, well, you need to quit needing him on votes. Write legislation that is only harmonious to the Constitution. You'll get Representative Massey to vote with you. These people act like children. Anyway, so the Zionists have come out of the woodwork. Sorry, my glasses are just aggravating me today. I don't know what's going on here. But Zionists have come out of the woodwork to excoriate Tucker Carlson. Okay, everybody was liking him and he was great until he started asking questions about, do you really need to obliterate a whole population in order to, make your point because you think that they attacked you on October 7th. So anyway, yeah. So since he's been questioning things, they've been after him, but now they are truly gnashing their teeth about him. Because he had Nick Fuentes on. Okay. Nick Fuentes is he's a podcaster. He's a talking head also. And he, he's more right wing. No, he's more, extreme. No, that's not a right word. He's more extreme in his views in regards to what's going on in this country, in regards to how Israel's been acting and how people have been behaving. I'll just say it that way. And so Tucker Carlson decided to interview him. Well, Tucker Carlson has also interviewed Putin. He's interviewed all kinds of people that a lot of other people didn't like. And so the left, you would expect them to go off, but the right is going nuts right now. Okay. Well, Zionists, I should say. Zionists. And, I really would, I'm not into Fuentes. Now I really want to see what he had to say. Okay. I really do, because these people are just losing their shit over Fuentes being on Tucker Carlson's show, and they're saying that Tucker is dividing the right. And no, he's not. You are. If you feel divided, it's your fault. That's all. I would have normally not watched this particular episode, but now I'm definitely going to, just because of the gnashing of teeth. I got to see what's going on, just because. Anyway, so I spoke about Massey a minute ago, and yes, he's my favorite congressman. He's from Kentucky, and he's doing something right when Trump summons like 3 billionaires to start a PAC against him in Kentucky, MAGA for Kentucky or something like that. 3 billionaires put up the money to try to unseat Massey, and every time, I don't know why Trump keeps doing it. Every time he attacks Massey gets more donations and more support and more love from all over the country. And Trump needs to watch out, and Massey's got more mores than J.D. Vance does at this time, I have to say. So, Massey's going to probably, I'm not saying he's going to run. He hasn't said he's plans on running. But I think there's a lot of Americans that's going to try to write him in on the next election. I don't blame him. Anyway, but he says something. He said, when leaders of my own party protect sex traffickers, spend our grandkids into oblivion, fund endless wars, lock down our citizens, bail out corporations, bow to other countries, and hurt small farmers, it's true. I won't be their yes man. He's right. I mean, because that's exactly what the GOP did. Well, both parties did, actually. They are grandkids are not going to have Social Security. I mean, Rand Paul, whom I usually like, I'm not saying he says, I hold Thomas Massey up top and MTG next, and then Rand Paul. And Rand Paul's actually kind of fallen down in my, okay, just a moment. What's this? I'm getting a surprise of sorts. No. Please turn that off. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. Yep. I appreciate it. I'm sorry about that. It's been a day. It has been a day, but that's pretty cool. Lost track. Okay, Rand Paul. Rand Paul said something very interesting today in regards to Social Security. He's thinking to raise the age of Social Security to 70 years old. Now, that's some messed up stuff right there. And I'll tell you why. Because there's a lot of us who's been paying into Social Security all of our lives. And we're getting close to the age of Social Security. We are paying into retirement. Okay, this is not insurance. This is not a tax. This is our retirement. It's supposed to be there when we get older. And we managed to fucking survive this country and survive these politicians. We deserve to have our money, And there's a lot of us who I've already known for many years. I was like, it's not going to be there when we get old enough. We already know this. I already knew that when I was in my 20s, for goodness sake. Okay. But now there's a lot of people who want their money back because the return on investment is nil. It is crap. So we just want our money back. And if that happens, if we were able to get our money back, just one lump sum payment, hey, give everybody their money back, what they've paid into it. You think about it this way, they could throw it in Bitcoin. Yeah, it's going to grow. And in 5-10 years, it's going to be way up there. I suspect it'll be, I think Bitcoin per coin is going to be, within the next 5 years, it's going to be about $1 million. I think it's going to happen. All right. Anyway, so we want our Social Security money, and we're tired of the government stealing it. And they say they're not stealing it, but they have been stealing it. How can it be gone? It's because they have not been putting, if they put all the Social Security into gold, if they had been buying gold, our country would be in great shape. But anyway, I digress. I digress totally on that. Moving on, Secretary Duffy. I mentioned him earlier. Now, I have to say, of Trump's appointments, I like Gabbard. I like Tulsi Gabbard. I really like Homan. Okay. Tom Homan is busting his ass, getting the illegals out. He is just deploying. I mean, if you think about it, we've got 42 million people in this country that were not born here. 42 million people in the United States. And that 42, remember that number, 42 million. Okay. 42 million people in the United States that were not born here. There's also 42 million people on SNAP. Now, I'm not saying they're the same people. Okay. There's an overlap, if you will. So think about it this way. 1 in 8 people in this country were not born here. And they are either here on H-1B or they're illegal, or they're on SNAP. Okay, we'll get into the SNAP thing in just a moment. But anyway, so Tom Homan, I like him. I like what he's doing. To be honest with you, it's like I think that this was designed to happen, and I'll tell you what I mean by that. The way the Democrats did in opening the borders and getting all the illegals in here and just totally contaminating and sullying, if that's the word I'm going to use, sullying the society and the job market and the benefits, if you will. I'll say benefits for lack of a better term right now. The way they have sullied it with non-Americans. I think that was designed, and I'll tell you why. Because they did it, and it wasn't for any benefit other than, getting themselves elected more and controlling the rest of the country. Because if you have extreme poverty, which this will cause, the extreme poverty is going to cause people to vote certain ways and get angry about certain things, and it'll cause extreme poverty is also going to increase crime. And we can see that has happened. Those of us who have been paying attention for the past 20 years. You young people probably don't understand all this stuff that's been going on. You get the history books from your teachers and they tell you this and that and the other, and it's bullshit. Sorry, guys, it's bullshit. You'll find out. If you haven't found out already, you'll find out soon. So anyway, so all this stuff, they've designed it this way so that we would vote in a tyrant to send out ICE agents, okay, to send out police and to send out all these, all these law enforcement to clean up this mess, okay. And with the tyrant being put in, they still get their way because taxes go higher to pay for this and that. They both are the same if you think about it, Republicans and Democrats. Yeah. So anyway, but I do like what Duffy is doing. He is working his butt off. He's making announcements every day. How many truck drivers have been arrested and their licenses taken away, taken out of the trucks because they have. It's become a gambling session with your life just to drive on the freeways in this country now. It's gotten really bad. All right. So he's going after the non-English speaking truck drivers. You have to know English in order to get your CDL, your commercial driver's license. And you know what? Something makes me mad. I'm going to go ahead and fire it off. Something really angers me because I've had a CDL before. I had a B-class CDL, which I drove motor coaches, and that's passengers and stuff, which is really funny. Why is that? Okay, anyway. But at that time, back then, I think it was 99. Yeah, 99, 2000. Yeah, 2000. I got my CDL, but they did a 10-year background check on me. They did a 10-year background check. That was a federal background check. They had to go through all of your history and everything, your addresses that you ever lived at, the schools you graduated from, what jobs you had, made sure that you weren't a felon, and of course, understand the English language and being able to read, write, comprehend, read the signs, know the laws, the traffic laws, and there's special ones for CDL operators. But it's not, how are these immigrants getting here and they just blasé getting on the road? Because it's H-1B, illegal immigrants, and crooked brokers and trucking companies that are hiring these people to go do this, to go drive around. And they're killing people. And then they go and they buy somebody else's motor carrier company number. Yeah, these crooked ones, they go out and just get the new, the numbers and all the designations that's on the doors of these big trucks. You see all that stuff, the MCC number, the DOT number, the this, the that, all that stuff. They go and buy a clean record. If they've been in too many wrecks, they'll go buy a clean record. And you can find the ads on Facebook even. All right. You got Indian truck drivers and companies. They've got trainees. 2 weeks, you can be trained. 1 week, you can be trained $100. Whoa. No, it takes a lot longer for you to learn the FMCR. Hang on a second, Federal Motor. I can't do it now. Federal Motor Transport Carrier. I don't know how the FM. Anyway. So the thing is like, you can't learn it all that fast. All right. And especially if English is not your first language. So anyway, Duffy is doing a great job. So is Tom Homan. So is Gabbard. Who's the other one? And there's another one. I lost the name. I forgot who it was. Anyway, so but the thing is that these truck drivers coming in, like they can come in from Canada, they can come in from Mexico, and they're driving around in our country. They don't even know the language. They don't know the safety. They don't care about the safety. They don't give a rip about American lives. It's been a national security issue. This is a serious national security issue. We have people dying on the highways. They're killing people. It's weaponized incompetence. And how it was allowed to pass is beyond me. I don't get it. Anyway, I've been on the roads. I've seen how crazy the drivers were. I turned in my CDL when I moved to Tennessee because I saw how crazy people were on the freeways. And namely, one person was like my mom. She is a crazy driver. And I don't ever, I would never want to be in a big truck or even a motor coach and have her driving anywhere near me. I mean, I did the responsible thing. I'm getting rid of this thing. Okay, so it's become critical. Okay, so this national security issue has become critical because people are dying all over the place and it's horrific, you know. And the thing is truck drivers have been complaining. American truck drivers, professional drivers, have been complaining for decades about this. It's not just Indian drivers, like I said. It's a lot of other drivers like Russian, Serbian. I mean, and I love Serbia, don't get me wrong. So I love Serbian people. They're wonderful, but they should not be here if they cannot read English or speak English or comprehend, and especially our road signs and our traffic laws. All right. So they're going away. So very happy with the Secretary Duffy. Now, speaking of drivers, now I need to let everybody know, Walmart drivers, I know people in the driving industry. I've got truck driver friends and family and stuff like that. So I heard about this. So this is officially not official, but Walmart drivers are warned: do not go into an unsafe place. Your safety is paramount. So if you are driving into, a location and you see that there's something wrong, like you see a bunch of crowds and mobs and whatnot, do not pull in. Call the store. After you call the store, or if you can't get a hold of anybody at the store that you're supposed to be delivering to, call dispatch. If you're not getting anybody up with dispatch, call 911. Okay. So your safety is paramount. Walmart is very, very strenuous about this. Okay. So please be careful. Do not risk your life. They like you. Walmart drivers are very well regarded in Walmart. So take care of yourselves, take care of each other, watch each other's back. So I got that out. I wanted to make sure that I posted that. The EBT outage. This is why this warning went out. Okay, EBT outage. Okay, EBT, SNAP, supplemental, what is that? Nutritional something. Anyway, program, whatever have you. But the food stamps are running out. And no, tomorrow is the day it's official, but November 3rd is when the money actually is supposed to be over with. Now, if I understand correctly, the states should be having some reserve to put into the fund so that people can get their food, right? But here's the thing: if you're on EBT, SNAP, whatever you want to call it, food stamps, right? If you're on it right now, and if you have some money on it right now, don't you go out there buying, prepared, fast prepared foods. You go out and get some potatoes. You get potatoes, rice, beans, things like that. If you don't know how to cook, figure it out. You can spend $20 to get a freaking crock pot. All right. Get a crock pot. I hate to say it, but Spam is your friend, or corned beef hash. You need flavor. Okay. So it's not just the starchy foods that you need to get. You need to get flavor. You need to grab some, you can get spices and herbs. That's still EBT compliant. Dehydrated, it's like they have those dehydrated onions and dehydrated peppers in bulk at Walmart. You can get those, put them in there. I would not recommend ramen. Okay. I just don't recommend the ramen noodles nonsense. Okay. Please don't do that. Not to you, not to your own kids. People, I know you're going to say, I went through college and I ate that and it was boring. No, it wasn't. It's doing stuff to your body even today. Anyway, that's another subject for another time. But, buy the bulk food, right? Get some meats and stuff. Okay. You can get those big old things of ground beef. You can go to where the sales are. Don't always go to Walmart. Okay. If you go to your local grocery store and you go to during the week, especially if you're not working, you might as well go try it anyway. Go like your Food Lion, your Safeway, whatever your local grocers are. And when you go in there, go look at the meat on sale. Okay. And oftentimes you'll find pork, chicken, all this stuff on deep discount because they need to get rid of it. Take that shit home, right? And you put it in the freezer. All right. Stick it in the freezer. You've got meat. It's like It's not the prettiest meat, but it's still okay. It's still good, right? But you have to put it in the freezer right away, except for chicken. Chicken you need to cook up before you put it back in the freezer. Please do not take your chicken that you get from the grocery store and put it directly into the freezer, unless it's already frozen. If it's still frozen, you can put it in the freezer. But if it thaws, do not put that back in the freezer. But anyway, back to the point. Pork, ground beef tips, whatever have you. If you can find a roast, I mean turkey. I thought I saw somewhere it was like 99 cents a pound. That's a damn good deal. Grab a turkey, okay? Cook that up. Freeze the leftovers. Now, what you need to do is don't be entertaining other people. You need to take care of your family. If you're on SNAP, you need to be taking care of your family and take whatever you've got left over before the 3rd and go ahead and get those bulk items. All right. So you need good food. Crock pot is your friend. Okay. You can throw chicken in there. You can throw anything, pretty much anything in there. Onions, peppers, whatever. You need flavor and, it just needs to be good, guys. Just put something together. Hell, YouTube it. Okay. YouTube's got plenty of really neat, budget friendly foods, and it's good for your kids. It's good for you. You can all sit down together and, just eat and you'll be okay. Your kids' bellies will be full. To those that are selling their EBT, I have no advice for you. Sorry. So the danger is, okay, so from what I understand, there's a lot of people putting out videos about that. They're taking my EBT. We're going to go steal them. We're going to go steal the food. We're going to go in there, just raid the shelves off of Walmart, all that stuff. They could be talking junk or they could be telling the truth. We don't know, but they do sound quite angry. And they've made that really true, explicit threats, okay, to these stores and to us. And, when I say us, I'm talking about shoppers. There's threats that these people are going to go to the stores, and they're not going to go in the store. They're going to go to this parking lot, and where people are shopping and they're bringing their stuff out to their cars, especially white people. It's been said they're going to go after the white people coming out of the stores to their cars, and they're going to take their shit. Okay, so for that, I'm recommending everybody, you go in teams. Okay, ladies, you don't go alone. There's a lot of men out there who's telling their wives, no, you're not going, I'm going. I'm recommending that 2 people go. 1, because whoever's loading the car is paying attention to that and has their back turned to all the danger. The other person needs to be watching their back and watching what's going on in the surrounding area and prevent. What I mean, I mean, do what you can to prevent being a target. Okay. Just prevent being a target. That was the number 1 thing. The other thing, if it's unavoidable, I believe that everybody should be exercising their Second Amendment and carrying plenty of Second Amendment seeds with them. You know what I mean? Seeds. For planting. Anyway, seriously, ladies, you go in pairs. If you're single ladies and your moms and everything, first off, get a babysitter to watch your children. You don't need to be carrying your children during these times to the store. Work as a team. You can have 3 women, okay, working as a team. 1 woman's babysitting the children all in one home. The other 2 are going out the shop, doing the shopping for the 3 people. 1 person is loading the car, right? And the second person is carrying their pistol to make sure that they're all 3 of, to make sure that both of them are safe and the food is safe. Get in the car. Have your keys always ready anyway. You're supposed to be, the American women know better. You should be having your keys prepared before you get to the car. So you get in the car and go. Okay. So make quick work of it. No dilly-dallying. Get your shit in there. Close the doors, lock it up, and go. All right. If you see a crowd of people, don't go to that store. Okay. I'm not going to recommend Dollar General. I have a funny feeling that that's going to get raided too. A lot of Dollar Generals in the poorer areas. But here's something else. For those who are, dependent on others for food, there's tons of farms in this country. And there's farmers that have to throw away their food because they have tons of food left over in their field and they can't get rid of it. And it's just going to go to rot. There are oftentimes there's going to be farmers, okay, that has like pumpkins and squash and all that stuff. Now, if you don't know how to cook it, I am so sorry for you. Oh, squash. If you don't know how to cook squash, you don't know how to bread it, whatever have you, you're used to getting it frozen at Walmart or whatever. Take your squash, cut it in half, you drizzle some oil on it, olive oil preferably, but if you don't have it, sorry, I got a message that came through. If you don't have it, tallow, butter. You got to have butter. Okay, don't get margarine, but anyway, butter, throw butter on it, salt and pepper. If you got some other herbs in there, sprinkle that on there, throw it in the oven, bake it. You don't have to bake it, but squash and zucchini, you don't have to bake, but maybe 20 minutes at most. You don't need to cut it. You don't have to cook it all the way through. It's really good. Okay. It's good. Eggs. Make sure you get eggs. There's farmers in the area. Don't steal their eggs if they have a stand. Okay. Leave the money, get their eggs. Okay. And they love it. Okay. I've got neighbors. We buy our eggs from them. So, okay. I think I covered everything on that. Yeah, don't be buying soda pop and junk food. This is not the time for that. Okay. And pizza rolls or whatever pizza rolls, no. Buy a bag of potatoes. 10-pound bag of potatoes is like what? $5? Okay. Even less. Look for your sale circulars. Look up, see what's on sale. Go online, see what's on sale. Check out Aldi. Find out what you can use. And just save your money when you can. Anyway, let's see here. I think, there was another item over here. And give me just a second to find that again. There we go. Not this one, this one. Not that one. Let's try that again. Tag. I hate when I do that. Let's see. Oh, okay. Medical. I'm going to go into the medical stuff. Can't help myself. I do that. So a doctor named Nicole Safier, I don't know. So apparently she's on TV, on a TV network, and she's she's a doctor on the news station, and she, provides blah, 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 blah. Anyway, so she says, my son has a high fever and I'm angry that now I'm questioning giving him Tylenol. Do data exist showing harm to kids that haven't been shared with the public, or is Tylenol controversy purely hyperbolic and conjecture? Needless to say, I'm mad. All right. And so people were saying, aspirin, you're great on Fox. Please keep contributing. My recent headache and fever was quickly resolved with good old aspirin. No Tylenol, no ibuprofen, just aspirin. And she comes back with, aspirin is a no-no in young kids. Google Reyes syndrome. Reyes syndrome or Reyes syndrome. Never heard of it. So I took a look at it. Okay. I mean, I did take a look at it, but here's the thing. Anytime the doctor says syndrome, I want you to think about it. Syndrome. Every time you hear of a syndrome, okay, it means the doctors don't know. Premenstrual syndrome. Gulf War syndrome. Reyes syndrome. Okay. What's the other syndromes? There's all kinds of syndromes. That means doctors don't know what's really going on. So words like, and so they have studies. So I checked the studies on the Reyes syndrome and how it's caused by aspirin. It says can and believe and things like that. So here's the causes. The exact cause of Reyes syndrome is unknown, but it is believed to be triggered by a viral infection such as influenza or chickenpox in combination with the use of aspirin. Aspirin used during viral infection can damage mitochondria. Can. It's not will, it's can damage mitochondria, leading to swelling and inflammation in the brain and liver. What they haven't said in all this stuff, I was looking at it. Didn't say anything about the vaccine history of that child. Didn't say anything about the diet of the child. Aspirin, I remember aspirin when I was a child. Here's the thing about aspirin, and everybody needs to know it. It is not the demon that they say it is. The reason why they don't want you taking aspirin is because they don't make money on it. Bayer makes plenty of money on their aspirin and stuff like that. So plain aspirin, it doesn't make a lot of money. Okay. What aspirin does is it elevates your temperature for a little bit. Okay. And it relieves pain. And I remember as a child when I was sick, they'd give us aspirin, water, or other beverages to hydrate us and put us in under a bunch of blankets so that we could sweat it out. All right. And when I became an adult, I figured out the best way to handle a fever and a flu. Basically this way, I would get a glass of water, a couple of aspirin, sit it on the table, on my nightstand, get a change of sheets and blankets and set that aside, change of clothes. Okay. Set that aside. And what I would do is I would put on a pair of sweats and, I would hunker down, take some aspirin, drink the water, hunker down and get under a bunch of blankets. And I would sweat. I would sweat it out. The fever would end up breaking, it's like, and when the fever breaks, you're all sweaty and nasty and everything's cold because you're all damp and the blankets are damp. And so is the sheets and everything, your pajamas and everything. So, when the fever breaks, pull all the stuff off your bed, take your clothes off and go ahead and put your new clean sweats on, the dry ones or the dry clothes on, put new linens on the bed and get back in bed and hunker down and go back to sleep. Okay. It feels so much better in the morning because you're not got all that wet stuff on. But anyway, the thing is like, because whenever I had a flu, basically I would take the aspirin, don all that clothing and I called it to bake that out. Okay. To bake it out of you. Because see, the viruses that you're getting cannot handle the high heat. All right, of a temperature or a fever. And so it's the body's natural reaction to fight off the virus infection is you get a high fever and it basically kills off the virus. And when it does so, keep in mind the pain relief of aspirin is good because when the virus dies, okay, it leaves behind its little bodies and stuff and mud, if you will. Okay. Mud is excrement. Okay. So when a virus dies, it leaves its waste behind. And that's what causes your muscles to be sore and you feel like you're so achy and everything. All right. So take your aspirin and drink plenty. You have to drink plenty of water. Okay. That's a crucial thing. Plenty of water and vitamin C. Okay. So aspirin, vitamin C, and water. The vitamin C is to help clean out all that waste that the flu leaves behind. And if you think about it, it's the same achy feeling that you get when you go through a parasite cleanse. When you go through a parasite cleanse, that does the same thing. You get that achiness all over your body, and it's like, right? It's because the dead organisms are left behind, and you need to flush it all out. So vitamin C is good for that too. Okay. Anyway, so the thing about chickenpox, you don't get a fever with a chickenpox. They talked about chickenpox. You don't get a fever with chickenpox. I don't know where that came from, but that doesn't give you a fever. But anyway, there's too many studies out there asserting nonsense as much as quacks do. So, but that's why I always watch with those science papers. When you hear something on the news, something super scary and this and that and the other, all the measles, oh my God, it's killing people. Well, wait a minute. Let's go ahead and look at the studies, and this Reyes syndrome that was basically discovered, I guess they found that they discovered they called it Reyes because a guy named Reyes found it. Anyway, 1963. Okay. By 1980, they said there was like 550 deaths from the Reyes syndrome, but it doesn't say because I looked, it doesn't say anything about vaccines. Now, if you look at 1963 to find out what vaccines were put in place, polio, measles, rubella, all that stuff, all those vaccines came into play. So I dare say that there is a connection there that they're trying to hide from us. Anyway, so I just wanted to let you all know about that. So this raised and take your aspirin. It's okay. I would never take Tylenol. I hate Tylenol. When I was a girl, we didn't use Tylenol because mom said it didn't work, and it didn't work. I mean, aspirin worked. What the hell, right? So anyway, trying to see if there's anything else. I think I've got about everything. All right, so I do want to honor Halloween. We are in Halloween now. Honoring our ancestors, okay? So Halloween is not just about ooga booga and, oh, scary, scary, scary. You know, the only thing scary is our government now. And our government and society who's not thinking. Anyway, so we're Paisley Wild had a show earlier today, and she was talking about honoring our ancestors. And that was on her show, The Spaces Between. You can find her on Rumble, Truth Frequency, or excuse me, truthrefugee.com. I can't believe I said that. But truthrefugee.com, she's one of our hosts there. Again, Paisley Wild. She was talking about that today, and it kind of got my brain going. And I thought I'd just, touch up on that. You got to look at your family tree, right? In order to honor your ancestors, you got to look at your family tree and know the stories and of your antecedents' lives and the great things they did to carry on the family line. It teaches your children their history. And when you practice this, it teaches them their history. I mean, there's something to be proud of. There's a lot of people who, they know their great grandfathers and things like that. I think it's a remarkable thing when in Montenegro, I found out that children could not graduate their high school at all until they could recite 14 generations of their grandparents, great grandparents, on and on and on, 14 generations, and what made them special. What did they do in their lives that was so great? And it's remarkable. It's like, wow, that's some family history, something to be proud of. And anyway, so it's like, it's good about teaching your family, who's in your family and things like that. It also teaches your children their history when you practice this. I said that already. It's not abnormal to have photos, right, or portraits of your previous generations. I mean, many families have photographs of their previous generations. There's some people who have had warriors, soldiers and sailors and Marines, whatever have you. They'd have their medals there, on the wall, as like kind of like a shadow box of the medals of this grandparent did this, or the sword of, one of the officers from the Revolutionary War. I mean, that's some heritage there. That's something to be proud of. It really is, and it's good to do so. Even the Bible says to honor your mother and father, but that does not exclude the grandparents, does it? Or the ancestry at all. Christians do need to chill out about the Halloween and honoring your ancestors thing, because all of American Christians celebrate the founders of our country, right? Why not honor those whose genes you carry? And by speaking and honoring those who contributed to your genetic code, it is also to honor your own DNA, and it enhances, in a positive way, your own health, because you're honoring your own DNA. You can't help but, because you come from those people. So, it's like it's coursing through your blood. It's like all that information from then, and we don't have it here. It's in our blood though. Okay. So, I think it's a good thing to honor them. Even if you had bad parents and they were mean to you or whatever have you, you still need to honor them. Honor your grandparents, even if you didn't know them. And I do think that there is something going on about the division in our generations. We've got people, kids who are like, they're angry now because boomers are not spending, not giving them heritage or inheritance and things like that. that's a problem. I find that to be a problem because they don't know what the boomers went through when they were growing up or when they were coming of age and what they had to go through in order to get their, property and house and whatnot. Everybody says it was such a golden age. They had this much money, 37 cents for a gallon of gas and blah blah blah. No, 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 you didn't seem to understand. The hardships were just as hard. And they had newspapers. They didn't have internet. They had some people didn't even have TV until the 60s. There's a I don't know, it just confounds me when I hear the younger people acting like the elder generations have, pretty much scrimped out on us, but it's okay. Anyway, but yeah, honor your ancestors. Take a few minutes. Now, Paisley is more detailed in her honorings. Me, I'm not as detailed, but I honor them. I respect them. Even the ones that I did know and it was like, um, I still honor them because it's part of my genetic code. And even some of the uglier parts of their personality, some, actually contributed to my betterment, whether they intended to or not. The strength that I have, that's something I have to really appreciate all of my antecedents for that one because I've been very, very strong. And I have to say I appreciate that. It's like some of the stuff I've been through would have killed many. It's like I'm not exaggerating or anything. Um, and I realize just sometimes when I feel achy and everything because I'm getting older now, right? But I get achy and everything. It's like, I think about what happened to cause that ache, and I'm like, geez, man, I know a lot of people half my age can't do it. Can't do what I just did, that kind of thing. So I honor my antecedents for that because they grew strong. They and constantly growing stronger and stronger. Um, and I think we dishonor our DNA and our antecedents when we don't take care of ourselves because they have invested so much into their future. We also must invest into our future, in our progeny. So we have to take care of ourselves. And that means getting off the junk food, drinking good, clean water, good, clean food, and having a good, clean spirit. And that is the best thing. And, being lighthearted. Let's see. Yep. I think I got everything. I think I did. So if you go to truthrefugee.com, you will be able to find all of us hosts there. We've got Brooks Agnew. We've got Paisley Wild, as I said, Tony Arterburn. We've got Zach Hubbard of Gematria. Oh my gosh, the Gematria. We've got Pharmacy Seeds Network. That's Carlton. That's 5. Hang on a second. There's 5. Zoe just came on board. She has got Omni and Gatherum and Miss B. She's got channels on Rumble. We're all on Rumble, I think. Yeah. We all have Rumble channels now. And of course, Truth Refugee. Okay. So if you look in Rumble and you go to Truth Refugee, you'll find all of our videos posted there too. You can follow us on X or Twitter. Quantum Con X, okay, because I can't fit connections, so it had to be Quantum Con X. You can follow Truth Refugee there at Truth Refugee. I missed somebody. Hang on a second. I said Tony Arterburn. Oh gosh, I have to look now. Anyway, so truthrefugee.com. And I just spit at the camera. Excuse me. Sorry about that. But yeah, definitely take a look. We're lining up more hosts. We're really excited about who's coming up next, and can't wait to interview them. Trying to think of anything else. I didn't. You know what I didn't see? I didn't see anything in the chat. Hello, I'm sorry. Oh man. Yep. Hi everybody. I didn't know I had an audience out there. I thought I was talking to myself for the longest time. I'm sitting here looking at my notes and go back and forth. Anyway, hi. But yeah, so I'm sure those of you who've been following me for a while, you see that I've got a new background, got a new place. Um, Things are happening, and I had to take care of a family member. We had an emergency, and life changing emergency, and it is difficult. It is difficult. It really throws you for a loop when these things happen, and it makes you reassess: are you doing the right thing in your life and everything? And what can you do to help? Um, it's not easy. Um, so, with that, let me just say, mind your health. Pay attention because you're the one who's ultimately responsible for it. Really, you can blame doctors, you can blame food industry or whatever have you, but you are ultimately responsible for your health, and I'm ultimately responsible for my health. So I have to do that, but I will not give up my coffee ever. Boo, boo to you too. Bitcoin boo. Yep. So happy Halloween, happy Samhain. For those who practice both, which way or the other, which way I said it. Anyway, yeah, I didn't get to do any ceremony today, but I will make up for it tomorrow. I'm going to get some time off here soon, and I do need it because I got to get my head to clear. I need some clear head space, and I do appreciate it. And I have to say, when you when you find yourself in a situation and you haven't helped family and things like that, and it's like totally not in your normal personality to do such things, you learn about yourself and others, and you by acting, I get it now, as where people were talking about this in my history. When you are acting in the way, or if you're acting in love, you will find that you do love. It's one of those things. It's like, yeah, caring for somebody that you really don't know that well. I mean, you think you know, but you don't, until you find out, oh, wow, and you see, when you see somebody else's vulnerability, it makes you think, it's like, what if that happened to me? How would I deal with that? Could I deal with it any better? And so you learn empathy and stuff. Um, it's a lesson for me. So I need to hurry up and learn it, right? So anyway, got some good news from some friends of mine I'm really happy about. They're getting married. Yay! I'm like so happy because she's good for him and he's good for her, and it's just a wonderful thing. So I'm just like, yay! So I celebrate good news too. So okay. It is running late here. Oh, not too bad. Not too bad on this. Okay, I see. Hang on, let me take a look at this real quick. What's going on here? Okay, so I think I got it. What is that? Oh, okay. Fine. We're good. Okay, so if anybody had any questions, just let me know. Leave a comment and tell me what you want me to cover, what I should research, if you think I should be researching and taking a look. Because those of you who know me, you know that I do some research and I get to do some deep dives. I can't wait to get back into that. But I don't want to do the same old thing. It's like, yes, we know who did 9/11. Oh, God, we know who did 9/11 and the Boston Marathon, the Boston Marathon and the Sandy Hook and all this stuff. So we already know that. And if you listen to my show, oh, that's what it was. I'm going to be opening another channel, and I'm going to put my archives on that channel. A lot of that's going to be audio, but the later ones will be video audio also. And the reason being I'm doing that is so that there is a permanent record. I want that up and out there because there's a lot of stuff I said was going to happen and it happened. So yeah, I have this thing where it's like where people think and they say that you're crazy, you're not no, you didn't say that, or you didn't do that. And I'm always saying, I've got a picture, it started when I was a baby. My mom told me that I was crazy for remembering this or saying that I remembered it. My first Christmas, I was 3 months old. And I remembered the day. I remembered my aunt's dress and that she loved me so much and she had a pin on. And I remember my cousin was there and this and all this stuff, right? And I told my mom that. She said, "You're crazy. That didn't happen. You're crazy. You're crazy." She tried to gaslight me. Love my mom, swear I do, but she's a pain in the ass sometimes. Anyway, so what happened is one day I was going through some memorabilia and I found a Polaroid photo of me in a onesie with little white pom-poms, the same thing I described to my mother in those tellings. My aunt in the very dress with that same fabric. I remember that fabric. Excuse me. That fabric on, it was scratchy. And the pendant, which was also scratchy. And all the people that I said was there. And she had me convinced that I was crazy. When I saw that picture, it was, I remembered this. I remembered it. I was so angry. I was so angry that she had me convinced I was crazy. When there's a photograph right there. She's holding me in this, my aunt's there and my dad's there and all this stuff. So I took that photograph and I put it in a gold frame and I have it so I could see it and I just grab it. Anytime it's like people think that I'm crazy or I think that maybe somebody might think I'm crazy, I'm like, I have my little thing there. Anyway. So we're not crazy yet, really. Anyway, so with that, I'm going to bid you adieu. I hope you guys have a wonderful Halloween and it was safe, not too much sugar. Okay, take it easy on yourselves, but plenty of chocolate. Chocolate's good. I think I'll do that. I'm going to go have some hot chocolate. It's been cold and it kind of warmed up today, but still, I'm going to get some chocolate, I think. I'm actually hungry and popcorn, maybe. Anyway, so, yeah. So good night, everybody. And I will try to make this a regular thing, maybe on Friday nights. I might be doing this on Friday nights, which is really weird for me, but okay, we're going to do it. We can do this. Friday nights, maybe Wednesdays too. Hopefully we can get that schedule thing. I was supposed to be on Wednesday. That didn't happen. And I apologize about that, but we'll definitely get this to 2 times a week. Okay. Love you guys. Again, go to truthrefugee.com and get connected there and we can thrive. And yeah, it's alive. We're just living. And I like the font, Truth Refugee. See? Yeah. See that? Look at that font. I love it. It's awesome. And those who know. All right, guys. It is Halloween 2025. Good night, everybody. Love you.